says that Babylon will be cast into the sea like a great millstone, and that's Hollywood. So I says, here we've fought and struggled and tried every way we know to stay away from Misty Babylon and not get caught in those false doctrines. And yet here's the influence of Hollywood, and we're just kind of, yeah, well, I don't go to the movie theaters. Hollywood penetrates into our society much deeper than movie theaters. It permeates everything. I heard one representative from Hollywood back, I was a kid when I heard him say it. He says, we have found in Hollywood, he says, we can influence the nation any direction we want it to go. And that's true. They can do it. They can set the styles, they can set the fashions, they can set attitudes. But just, we take, here's Hollywood now, which is natural Babylon, let's call it that for lack of a better word, though working in a spiritual way. But our attitudes about fashions and hairstyles, about the sexes, men towards women, women towards men, most of that gets set in Hollywood. But we, as the bride of Christ, we must bring every thought subject to the Word. We cannot let our tastes or anything come floating out of Hollywood. That's the spirit of Babylon. That's darkness. That's the epitome of darkness. Got to bring your thoughts subject to the Word. Got to bring your attitude subject to the Word. Hollywood, we know, tears down every Bible, biblical, moral standard until their standards are becoming the norm. What happens? What happens on a totally dark night? The moon is not giving her light. The moon represents the church. So therefore, the church has dropped the ball. And on a very dark night, even the stars are not quite doing what they ought to do, sons of God. But Hollywood, in all of its glitter, still has everything flashing. They've got a light of their own, but it's a false light. You know that in the Old Testament, when a prophet would give his prophecy, they would bring him into the temple standing before the Urim and Thummim, which was the 12 stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel that Moses would wear on his chest, or the high priest, would wear on his chest. And then they'd leave it hanging in there. They'd bring in the dreamer of dreams or the prophet, and he would rehearse his prophecy or his dream. And if it was truth, then lights would flash on that Urim and Thummim. And so here's a piece of cut glass reflecting light to say that's truth. And then Satan comes around and gets one of these stargazers or crystal ball gazers